Our 100th episode of the Great British Mickey Waffle, an achievement we all thought was possibly beyond the realms of reality when we started some 4.5 years ago. Little did we know the journey that lay ahead and all the trials and tribulations we would face along the way. But we've made it, and we will continue to do so. Welcome to our century of shows, and before we begin, just a thank you to you for joining us. Be this your first show or your 100th. We appreciate everyone who has listened to us or watched us on YouTube and shared the magic, the memories, and us over the past 99 shows. And a few giggles too. Welcome to show 100. I'm John, and welcome to my fellow wafflers, without whom none of this crazy shenanigans could ever be possible. Claire, a big welcome to you, who actually, as this show goes live, I think you're going to be in Walt Disney World at that time, and you are going to be, you're going to be following the Glotini Girls route with Anna, where you're just going, it's just like lock up every bar in the whole of Florida for the entire duration, because actually, yeah, you will go and drink Florida dry, I think is the it's the way to go about it.
It is
I know you will.
Here. I can't believe we've been allowed to do this for 100 shows. But yes, when this goes live, I will be where is it? The 1st of December. So I will be enjoying dinner at the Boathouse and a beverage with Anna and Robin and Simon at Jock Lindsay's. So that's
excellent. Oh, that's a bit cool. That sounds absolutely superb. Yeah. And also, I probably better explain it to people who are listening as well. Robin and Simon can't make it for the show because, lo and behold, they actually got on a plane and actually headed off this morning. And it wasn't because they didn't want to do the show. It's actually, we'd recorded this show with Robin and Simon. And even after 99 shows, technical things actually get in the way and stop the actual recording. It was really bizarre. So they do send their love to everyone who listens, and I know for a fact that they will be having an absolutely amazing time, and especially Robin after a really tough few months. So hope they have a great time. Ben, you've had the most lousy of weeks because you've actually rescued us from technological IT hell.
I'm just glad it's Friday.
Yeah.
I'm just glad.
I can quite imagine, Ben. Quite imagine.
And as we said before, John, I know we're re-recording this show, but it's once more with feeling.
I think that's exactly it.
That's
exactly it.
Does that mean it's a musical episode? I'm there.
We haven't done that.
Oh dear! Look,
some music later.
No.
We'll let you deal with that, Claire.
Yeah, I might have tonsillitis that week. You might have heard of Becca. Welcome to the show. Good to see you again.
Hello.
Yeah, after your sneaky week away to the magic of Orlando as well, like, you know, as you were busy singing Tesla Girls, etc. in the Tesla as Ben was hiring his car and things like that. So, yeah, you survived. And if anyone's missed that, we did do it. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Yeah, just make.
Is that the criteria?
Yeah, we should go live.
Yeah.
Maybe Ben's going to retrain as a pilot next, and if that same criteria is still the same, I might be getting a boat to Orlando next.
Yeah, it's only a matter.
And we've also, I was going to introduce you, Peter, but there you go. You just get there first, you know. But fresh in return from Tokyo Disney, you got Peter and Jill. But before you even think about talking about Tokyo Disney, you're going to have to wait until show 101 because that's going to be a time where we can. Good. That's it.
I will just say I'm not at all envious of Robin and Simon. Not at all. Never. Ever. At all.
If you say that often enough, Peter, I actually think you put that on their socials today, and actually it gave me great amusement. If you keep saying it often enough, you might persuade yourself.
I might believe it.
No, I don't think you will, especially when Robin sends pictures of from upper class and the food. It's like no.
Anyway, cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jill, welcome to you, since you haven't been able to get a word in edgeways there. So,
no change.
And,
Yeah,
exactly.
Still here.
Do you know something? There's two people who, if you're watching on YouTube, you may identify. You may not remember, because actually, we don't like to talk about show number 1. Because actually the sound on that was so hideous that actually we should have got the Gremlins on that one in the first place. But we've got Lloyd joining us from sunny Dubai, even though it's the middle of the night. I'm pretty sure Qatar. Yeah, I knew it was somewhere like that, mate. I tell you.
Qatar, Dubai, both the same place.
Yeah, kind of get the bit. Welcome back, Lloyd. It's absolutely amazing to see you. And the spray on tan while you're still in sort of mid Manchester somewhere is working well there. It's working well.
John Ronsi in Qatar.
Qatar. Yeah. No, and you, and we've also got Sammie as well, who is joining us again, just so that those people who watch on YouTube with the captioning can have a really good laugh at what YouTube actually make out for a Glaswegian accent. And also, Sammie, in real contrast to Lloyd, with the sort of, you have that traditional Glaswegian sort of blue look, it's just like you've gone into that winter mode where your skin is no longer tanned or white, and it's just got blue, and spend that for 4 months. It's a Glaswegian thing. I understand.
This is a Glaswegian time.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
It still makes me back into
it's brilliant. It's brilliant having both of you back, because in some ways I think this is the nature of the show, and it is it's a look back as well as a look forward, and I think for us it is so amazing to think that that humble beginning when we actually tried to put a podcast together in the first instance, to actually come 100 shows further along the way is such a milestone that I actually don't think any of us thought was doable. And also some of the things that have gone on in between times have just have been sort of mind-blowing in some ways. So bear that in mind. We will come back to that later in the show. However, I did start, and I did mention the fact that this show is also about you, and about you who are just so loyal in listening and uploading the podcast or watching us on YouTube. And we've actually had messages, it was really heartbreaking for me, because actually I never think anyone listens to this, and it's beautiful to listen to some of the things people have said. And just a massive thank you to some of our friends and previous guests of the show, because they've sent us some really lovely things. So we'll play the first batch of them just now.
Y'all, 100 episodes. 100 episodes. I'm blown away. Happy 100th episode, Great British Mickey Waffle. I'm so honored to have been a part of your history, and I can't wait to see where you all head in the future, and hopefully I'll see you all real soon. But for now, enjoy this 100th episode. You deserve it.
Hi, Wafflers. This is Andy from the most magical podcast on earth. Congratulations on 100 episodes of the Great British Mickey Waffle. It was a joy to be on as a guest. It's a joy to listen, as always. Keep waffling on, and please stand clear of the doors.
Oh. It just makes it all real, doesn't it?
Yeah. I remember going on the most magical podcast and thinking, wow, he's good.
I was thinking, we need his audio.
I know.
Yeah. It's like his radio studio.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, that's exactly it, Ben. Yeah. I actually think it's a really good thing. If you live it, I think it's the Midlands that he's on Greatest Hits Radio in the Birmingham area, which we don't get. I get someone from Yorkshire, and it's not as good. I'd really love to listen to Andy's show every weekday afternoon. I think he's on. So do catch up with him. Andy's got a podcast as well, So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm so lovely to see Katie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And she's at the moment she's going through that. I know, and she has this ability to just reduce me to just sort of that tearful bit because she's so heartfelt in her support of what we do, and actually from afar, she actually still wants to come back again to be on the show, and I think that is something for next year where we get a catch up with Katie, and she's already promised it. We just
got the name for the show already.
Yeah. I dread to think, Claire. Anyway, it is brilliant, isn't it? Right. Let's begin with our absolute finale of our own Disney 100, as we actually went through that whole journey to a century. And if anyone's listened to every single part of this, you begin to realize just how wonderful it has been going through each decade of history of the Disney Corporation. We've not skirted about some of the controversial bits, and we're not going to again. So, Ben, take us away, and we'll see what the last decade has to offer. I can't wait.
Between 2013 and 2023, the Walt Disney Company underwent a transformative decade marked by significant milestones, expansions, and challenges. Disney were very busy during this time with a lot of park investment, which includes Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which was the final part of new Fantasyland expansion at the Magic Kingdom. Over in Disneyland Paris, a brand new 4D dark ride using innovative trackless technology shrunk you down to the size of a rat for a culinary adventure on Ratatouille. The grand opening of Shanghai Disney Resort in 2016 marked Disney's significant expansion into the Asian market, featuring the enchanting magic of Disney in a new cultural setting. The resort boasts a unique design, blending traditional Chinese elements with Disney's signature magical touch. The iconic enchanted storybook house was the largest and most intricate Disney castle, reflecting the fairy tale charm and Chinese cultural influences. The theme park also features Tron Light Cycle Power Run, a high-tech, futuristic roller coaster, which would later come to Walt Disney World in 2022. In 2015, Disney made several significant announcements regarding its theme parks. These plans included Star Wars themed lands at both Disneyland in California and Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida. These would feature immersive experiences, attractions, and entertainment based on the Star Wars universe. Toy Story Land would open at Disney's Hollywood Studios, which included the Slinky Dog Dash Coaster and alien swirling saucers. Over the next few years, many of these announcements become a reality, with Pandora the World of Avatar opening at Disney's Animal Kingdom in 2017, Toy Story Land in 2018, followed by Galaxy's Edge opening in the summer of 2019. Galaxy's Edge opening stages as the main attraction, Rise of the Resistance, was not quite ready for opening during the summer. It would open later that year in December. It's one of the most immersive attractions Disney has and can easily see why it is always a must for Star Wars fans. During this decade, Disney introduced My Magic Plus and Magic Bands, which totally transformed how guests experienced their trips to Walt Disney World. This new system, along with the introduction of the My Disney Experience app, served as a central hub for guests visiting the resort, offering features such as park maps, attraction wait times, dining reservations, and the ability to manage FastPass Plus selections. This would evolve into Genie Plus as we know it today. Film studio acquisitions from the previous decade made a huge impact on the company. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has become a cultural phenomenon, blending interconnected storytelling, iconic characters, and blockbuster action. The culmination of the Infinity Saga. This film saw the Avengers confront Thanos and his army in an epic battle to save the universe. With its high stakes, emotional payoffs, and spectacular action sequences, Avengers Endgame became the highest grossing film of all time. Following the acquisition of Lucasfilm, a series of new Star Wars films have enriched the iconic space opera saga. The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker concluded the saga in 2019. Together, these films, constituting the sequel trilogy and standalone stories with Rogue One and Solo, not only expanded the universe, but also introduced fresh characters and narratives, all while paying homage to the cherished elements of the original trilogy. The last decade has seen Disney release some of its most critically acclaimed and commercially successful films to date. Runaway hit Frozen become one of the most popular Disney films of all time. Frozen was praised for its animation, its music, and its strong female characters. In response to the rising popularity of streaming services and the evolving landscape of television and film distribution, major entertainment companies recognised the necessity for adaptation. Disney observed the success of platforms like Netflix and saw the potential in having its dedicated service to directly deliver its extensive content library to consumers. Launched in November 2019, Disney Plus swiftly became a pivotal element in Disney's media entertainment strategy. It serves as a direct-to-consumer platform, continually evolving with the introduction of new content, including exclusive series of films crafted specifically for Disney Plus. Disney Plus has been meticulously designed to serve as the exclusive home for Disney's vast content catalogue, featuring animated classics, Pixar films, Marvel and Star Wars franchises, and original productions. Following its initial introduction in the United States, Disney Plus progressively expanded its reach to the other regions, encompassing Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, Asia, and Latin America. To fortify the platform's content offerings, Disney made a significant move by acquiring the majority 21st Century Fox entertainment assets for approximately $71 billion. The acquisition included renowned franchises such as X-Men, Deadpool, and Avatar, alongside other intellectual properties and regional sports networks. This strategy not only shaped the entertainment industry's landscape, but also solidified Disney's position as a highly influential player. By consolidating a diverse range of intellectual properties under the Disney umbrella, the acquisition expanded Disney's content library, enabling the company to provide a wide array of the entertainment across various platforms. In 2020, Bob Chapek took on the role of CEO at the Walt Disney Company, succeeding Bob Iger, who stepped down. Chapek, with over 25 years of experience at Disney, previously held leadership positions including chairman of Disney Parks, Experiences and Products. Disney encountered significant challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic, particularly in its theme parks and resorts, results in prolonged closures and financial losses. New attractions and expansions faced delays, and various projects were impacted by disruptions and reduced attendance. Despite challenges in areas like media networks and theme parks, Disney's direct-to-consumer streaming segment, including Disney+, Hulu, and ESPN+, experienced growth during lockdowns. The company adopted a changing landscape, introducing strategies like Premier Access on Disney+ for certain theatrical releases. The pandemic prompted Disney to focus on its direct-to-consumer strategy. With Disney+ exceeding subscriber expectations, the company showcased adaptability and innovation, exploring virtual experiences and alternative content releases. In 2021, Disney's business entered a recovery phase as the world emerged from the pandemic. Celebrations marked Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary with special events, new attractions, and unique entertainment offerings. Highlights of the 50th anniversary include introduction of new nighttime spectaculars, Disney Enchantment and Harmonious, along with iconic landmark transformations and the installation of golden statues of beloved Disney characters throughout the parks. New attractions such as Guardians of the Galaxy, Tron Light Cycle Run, and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure contribute to the festivities. Additionally, the reopening of the US borders in November 2021 welcomed international guests and cast members back to the parks, marking a positive turn in Disney's journey after the challenges posed by the pandemic. Bob Chapek, CEO of the Walt Disney Company, was fired on November 20th, 2022, after a challenging 2-year tenure. Chapek's removal was attributed to public relations issues, strategic missteps, and financial struggles. His decisions, such as raising ticket prices and implementing Disney Genie+, were criticised for prioritising profit over customer experience. His handling of the COVID-19 pandemic also drew criticism. While Disney's streaming services grew under Chapek, the company's overall profits declined. Disney's board replaced Chapek with former CEO Bob Iger, citing his experienced leadership and proven track record. Reactions to Chapek's firing and Iger's return were mixed. Chapek's departure highlights the importance of effective leadership, clear communication, and strategic decision-making. Disney still faces challenges in streaming and digital media, and the outcome of Iger's return remains to be seen. As the Walt Disney Company turns 100, we've been able to get together and share our favourite stories, moments and experiences, with concerts, exhibitions, fireworks, merchandise, and an incredible short animation, Once Upon a Studio. Once Upon a Studio is a heartwarming and nostalgic short film celebrating Disney's 100th anniversary. The film features an all-star ensemble of Disney animation characters coming together for a group photo, showcasing the incredible legacy of storytelling, artistry, and technological innovation that has made Disney a beloved name for generations. And as Walt once said, I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Wow. Just so much. There's just absolutely so much. I don't quite know where to go first on that, but I'm going to pick up, Ben, on just that line about Bob Paycheck, because I think it's the only way I can describe him. And actually, that short tenure and the damage that was caused, is going to be something that I still think that we're going to still see that within sort of the budgets for parks, etc., for time to come. But looking at the investment in that decade, and you forget, when you're there each summer, and you get spoiled and you get used to seeing something new opening. You get used to seeing just new rides coming in, new lands being built, and you kind of take it for granted, and you shouldn't, because actually I think, if anything, the pandemic possibly proved to us all that no matter how big the pockets we would like to think that Disney have, it still needs to be budgeted, and actually, it's we hark back to that time. I think was it Simon when Simon talked about the decade after the war, of how close the actual studio itself came to going bust, and this must be a very, very similar time of trying to organise it so you're not alienating people in a way that actually was it was wrong. And I think so many Disney people actually knew that what was happening wasn't Disney, and thankfully they actually had the foresight to actually get rid of what the problem was, and actually bringing back Bob Iger, I think is a safe pair of hands, but it's probably made them very aware of just where they go to next.
It also shows how expensive Disney Plus is.
Yeah.
And when you think how much content that was focused on it, when you look at all of the Marvel TV shows that have been on, Star Wars, and now we seem to be going back to having, we looked earlier, there's only going to be one actual Disney Marvel film out next year, which is Deadpool.
Yeah.
John, how many Marvel films have you seen?
That'll be the one, Claire. I can't remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's easy to count. Not watch them.
No.
Like
Sammy,
he had any time last year at all. Like he was so
yeah. Even when you're in a hospital bed, right, and thankfully you've got a family that'll bring you an iPad, and you'll be able to watch anything you want and things like that. I chose to watch the golf live day after day after day. Right, I didn't get bored with that, but actually, I never actually felt as if I wanted to watch a Marvel film. It's just like it just didn't happen.
Very disappointed in you.
It's not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
No. I think I said that in the news.
How can it not be his cup of tea? He's watched one.
I've watched.
You need to watch 5. You need to at least start with a few.
I know. Don't start me on that.
I'll be generous to you, John. Say you watched WandaVision too, so.
Yeah. Do you know
who
you were dressed up as when you dressed up on for the Halloween special? Do you have any idea who you were dressed up as then?
I haven't got a clue.
Just some guy with a face.
Yeah, I just got that really nice thing from Amazon. It was just perfect. Just
right, okay.
Google it. It's dead. Yeah,
cool.
Go on to Amazon, order it. It's dead cheap. There you go, sorted. Absolutely done.
Like Claire was dressed up as then.
Claire
was.
What are you talking about?
No, that was that Marvel show. Yeah, Claire still uses that same picture. Lloyd's on some of her socials as well.
Yep, she's probably still got some of the green paint.
Yeah, and it isn't the Hulk
somewhere.
I know it's not the Hulk, so you're all right. I get away with that.
In talking about the 100, that Ben didn't quite pick up on, which is social media. Disney has been very big on social media, showing itself off, showing everything that they're doing, but also the fans have now, since social media picked up so much, we now have a way of speaking what we think about Disney and where Disney's going.
Yeah,
and I think that's an important thing to mention.
Yeah, I would say, Peter, actually, that started before this decade.
Yeah, I thought it was
Facebook and social media started from then, but then I think the difference probably happened, I'd say, during the pandemic.
Yeah,
a lot of people had a lot more free time, as we'll talk a little bit about later. We were all able to experience things like TikTok and actually get interactive with companies and how we respond. And you are right that how we all talk on social media about different companies may influence a decision because it can make something popular or not so popular.
Yeah,
and I think a part of the Bob Chapek thing was everyone's response to him on social media, because a lot of people were talking negatively about him and the whole situation. So I think that kind of made Disney see like, oh gosh, like we may have made a mistake.
Definitely.
Do you think that was also what happened with Harmonious? There was so much
possibly,
with the Stargate
I do. After watching, was it the Behind the Attraction show on Harmonious, and seeing them talk about it and what was meant behind it, which we didn't really know. We weren't.
It wasn't.
We knew
over,
this
was it? It wasn't.
It was. It didn't deliver on what they expected or what they wanted. Where the budgets got cut and the finished product wasn't exactly what they wanted. I think. It is. I think that the new show that we've got as Luminous is going to be something more akin to what fans and what theme park guests want.
I'm sure that Robin and Simon will report back next week.
See, there is a problem with social media, though, in that generally the things you'll see on there are the people that want to complain.
Yeah.
You'll see the negative a lot more than you will see the positive.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
I know that's why we're here. We're here to be positive. But in general, so if all the people are going on to various social media platforms and complaining, then all of the higher ups in Disney are only seeing the complaints. They're not seeing what people think they're doing well.
And that's why that's why they have those people with the iPads that annoy you when you're trying to go in or leave
even the ones that are trying to film the fireworks.
Obviously the negative is there and it's loud, but I've definitely seen positives and stuff like that on social media too, but the negatives seem to be louder, but maybe that's because we're also passionate and about how Disney used to be, that we just kind of want to keep the same vibe, not feel like they're rinsing us for money,
I will be happy with I will be happy with Harmonious if they accomplish two things. One is not ruining the look of the lake, the lagoon for the whole day with silly things like Stargate and tacos, and the other is if they can create a show that you can see from more than one spot. And still have a good view.
I think that's always a difficult thing with when you've got such a large area. In Magic Kingdom, you've got the hub. Yes, I know it's like crowds everywhere, but generally from there and all down Main Street, you're going to get the view of the castle and you'll see the fireworks.
Everyone's facing in the same direction.
Yeah, but when you've got the different ways to see it, it depends what sort of show you're going to get. So
who knows?
You're never going to. I think it's something that they should use technologies in other parks, and I think that, and I know it probably won't happen in Orlando or Disney World, that I think the use of drones should be something.
Yeah, absolutely.
All shows seem to be heading that way, and a lot of customization, and it's the cost of them. It isn't as much. I think Disneyland Paris has got a show out next year, which they're going to be launching fireworks from drones.
Yeah.
So it sounds doesn't sound safe at all.
Flying projectiles. That's
what could possibly go wrong?
But I'm really
Lloyd, it could be a job there for you, mate. Tell you.
Cheeky trip to Disneyland Paris. You've been talking me about.
No, you wish.
When it was in Abu Dhabi last month, there was a drone show inside I think it was SeaWorld Abu Dhabi had the drone show in the main room.
Okay,
yeah.
So even to get that effect within a structure as well, within a building, anything's possible with them these days.
Yeah,
they're crazy.
Wow.
But I think Epcot should just go back to the old days and just illuminate each country one by one.
Yeah.
Have some lasers on Spaceship Earth. Done. Everyone go home. Nothing in the lake.
Everyone go home.
And while they're at it,
light goes off.
Yeah.
Can we all just get a paper fast pass to just go and experience that as well? Just make it everything's so much more simple. So much more simple.
Do you know what?
I don't
miss
the paper fast pass.
They could do like a retro week at Epcot. That would be so cool if they had like the old Living of the Land song.
Oh, that'd be good.
You know, all of that.
Veggie fruit.
Cool. Well, they've got rid of that. That's not there anymore. But
yeah, but they could manage it somehow.
I think we've got Bob Iger on the phone. Hang on. We're on to the next. We're on to the next £1 million worth of profit. Stick with us, mate. That's it. I think that's a great idea because actually,
a whole lot.
It would be so good, and it'd be so good that it would stay for at least 6 to 12 months, wouldn't it? You know, it wouldn't be a week; it'd be 6 to 12 months. Yeah.
Retro festival with the old costumes, the silver spacesuits that Mickey and Minnie wore.
That'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
Her Cadillac and her stretch limo coming through. That
run to Tetra to get your fast pass.
I genuinely
I can feel a parade coming on, Claire. I can feel a parade.
That's it.
We
Get
go
rid of
on. Come on.
We do.
That's where we put wafflers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Right. That's what we needed.
Exactly. But, wow. Just when you look back, right? And I think this is looking over every single decade. That what you've just described there, Ben, is just probably from a corporation point of view, and from a corporate and global branding point of view, that 10 years has just become one where you probably have how to deal with the worst case scenario, followed by how to badly deal with the resurgence from that, and how and actually, and Disney have been great with this throughout the whole century of teaching people how to run a business in a profitable and a happy way, and those last 10 years, apart from probably the last 4, they were still really successful at that. And it just, we've got to just take that into account. And maybe certainly I've lowered my expectation of what I expect on my next visit to the parks, but you've got to have that true Disney core belief that they will get back to exactly what we all expect and what we all want, because that is what Walt wanted. And to finish what you did it was all started by a mouse.
Yeah.
And that is the quintessential magic that keeps us all coming back. It keeps us all totally engaged. And it means that we talk twice a month. Just don't
John,
worry about Disney.
I would not lower your expectations for your next trip. I would. No. We did for our first trip.
It's strange.
And
I think I'm still in my own head.
We managed to do Journey of Moana in Epcot, and that twice, and it was incredible because we walked through, and there was so much going on, so much enjoyment, and then when we got to the end of it, we both said to each other, "Walt would be proud of that," because that is exactly what Epcot was supposed to be.
That's exactly,
it was educational, it was entertaining, it was fun.
But it wasn't just fun for one generation. It was fun for
everyone.
Little children, toddlers, big children, adults, grandparents, parents. It was fun for everyone. It was
no one came out with a smile on the face.
It was that entertainment of bringing a family together. And
that is the true Disney value. That's a true Disney value, isn't it? And I think that's so nice to hear, because actually I think for me, that was what, even going back to what we're talking about with social media, that is what they need to portray and what they need to put across, even on their social, because actually, everyone's got a voice, but I actually appreciate the fact that I think they've learned a lesson there, and they've actually taken on board what we're not just making. I'm not talking about us as a podcast. I'm talking as a collective, people who enjoy going to the parks. We don't make it up, and actually we care about the company and about the experience as much as those people who are on the board at Disney. We might not have the same salary that those guys have, but we do care.
I mean, if they want to give us some of their salary,
and they listen.
I'll happily take a share.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I'll take I'll take 10% of paychecks payoff clause or whatever you got.
There was something that I think Ben vaguely hinted at that happened kind of before this last decade, but has gone much stronger this last decade, and that is IPs. There isn't a ride now, new ride, that is not an IP, and that kind of came this decade.
Yeah, because you realise it works.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. No, it
works.
It's remarkable.
It works, especially from a marketing point of view, where you go see a film and you see that translate into when you think. Because I know during last month's show when John, you did your decade, and it was all those acquisitions from Marvel, Lucasfilm. Eventually, we got films. Several years later, we got these films in the cinema. And the best thing for Disney to do is we want those in the parks. Yeah, but it's how they do it in the right way. Because I have to admit, I know a lot of people moan about a lot of IP going, intellectual property going to Epcot. I want more of it, if especially it means we're going to get things like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. If it's done in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And if the ride is good enough.
That they've had IPs in Epcot for ages because they have character meet and greets in every single pavilion.
Yeah.
And if that's not an IP, then I don't know what you would count as one.
But it's more now.
Yeah, it's ramped up, certainly. I think it's not a problem as long as the ride is good. I mean, I am the most casual Star Wars fan ever. I kind of know who the characters are and who the good guys and the bad guys are, and that's about it. And Rise of the Resistance was one of the most amazing rides I've ever done. Loved it.
Yeah.
I think as well, and this comes from actually looking at this from a reverse perspective, because actually was the first change in that whole mindset when Pirates was turned into an absolutely blockbusting series of films, and Disney recognised that actually, hang on, we've got a ride. So what happens if we turn it from ride to film and flip it around and then go from film into a ride, and how much we can actually take that on? And I think in some ways they've played with it, and they saw how successful the Frozen makeover of in Epcot was, and just basically just ran with it, because they actually realised it works, and even putting Pandora in place, with just one massive film, with the promise that the next one was coming, the next one was meant to be coming, and you were waiting years and years and years. It just becomes a really strange sort of way of looking at it, but it works.
And Pandora is set around the story of the sixth film.
Yes, it is. Yes,
when they eventually get that in, like, by the end of this century.
2060.
I was just remembering.
On by then.
I'm getting flashbacks. It's Seed Bearer.
I know. Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
Flashbacks.
I tell you what. That would be. I think it's a perfect time to kind of move it on as well, because I want to get Sammie and Lloyd involved in this, because actually you guys are responsible for so much of my giggling to begin with. And I've got to say, I really enjoyed the fact that, things change. So before we do, let's just listen to just a couple of messages from some of the friends of the show before we move on.
Hi guys, Sam here. Just want to say congratulations on your 100th show. What an achievement. And I just want to say a massive thank you for everything that you do. I try to tune in every Wednesday and you guys never fail to bring a smile to my face and always make me laugh. And to be able to be in that Disney magic for an hour and a half every week is just absolutely amazing. Thank you. Just thank you. Have a good show, guys. Take care. Bye.
And we're at the Magic Kingdom.
Yes, we're out of Orlando and we want to congratulate the Great British Mickey Waffle on 100 episodes.
Woo! 100!
Woo! Congratulations!
Hi guys.
Hi.
It's Karen.
And Neil from Portable Travel. We just wanted to take a moment to congratulate the whole team on 100 episodes of the Great British Mickey Waffle.
Your dedication to the continued growth of the show and the time you guys have spent building the GBMW brand is truly remarkable.
Over the 100 episodes, the unbreakable bonds that you have formed and the laughs and the tears that you have shared have been felt by all of us watching in.
I know the show has been a rock to you all in some dark times, and we have loved being a part of the community you have created.
We would also like to say a huge thank you to all of you for the support that you've shown to both of us with Portable Travel, and we look forward to building our relationship of being the Waffle's travel partner.
Here's to the next 100 episodes.
Oh, that message from Sam was so heartfelt, and actually, if you're a podcast listener, we are live every Wednesday. We do a Wafflers Wednesday each and every Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. in the UK, and that's exactly why we do it. Sorry,
8:30.
But it's why we do it. Yeah. Because actually we want to just bring a little bit of a laugh, a little bit of that midweek humour into everyone's life. Because even for us, as we sit there before we go live, there's occasionally a lot of rubbish going on at work and things like that. And when we do go live, it becomes a complete release. And that's why we hope people like Sam, people like you, enjoy doing what we do. So yeah, it's nice to hear that back, isn't it? So now, as we've celebrated 100 years of Disney magic, what better way to celebrate our 100th show with a few moments that you might remember and maybe some that we actually hope to kind of forget, and probably those. It's quite fitting actually, because the actual Naughty Step has got one of its founding members back on it for the show as well. I think that's exactly it, Claire. We know where we belong when we see the screen, and it's yourself, Lloyd, and myself. And we actually, there are times when you're trying to keep it together and somebody, not mentioning anybody else's name, but it's usually me who kind of loses it and the shoulders start going a bit, and you're trying to keep it in. And Sammie, I think we might begin. I'll tell you what, where did we all begin? Because actually it started from receiving a message on the dib about, do you want to do this podcast? And Ben was driving for us. Ben, take us back to that very, very sort of embryonic stage of where we were at
4.5 years ago. I can't believe that's how much time has passed since we've started this. Whatever we're going to call whatever this is going for. I remember we had to even change our name at the beginning because we put a pilot show together that we'd sent off to people of the Dib to see whether we would use the Dibcasts format previously. Yeah. And then I just remember sending out that message to all of you and to many others as well, just saying, should we carry on something? Is there some traction in like getting together once a month, just talk about Disney, talk about a place that we all enjoy? And it's been so much fun ever since.
What I remember is those initial planning sessions over WhatsApp, finishing work and finding 90, 100 messages on WhatsApp. It's like, why has my phone exploded?
It still happens now, though, but
it does.
It still happens.
Yeah. I remember the name came from me and Claire, kind of. Claire came up with the All British Mickey Waffle, and I came up with the Great British Mickey Waffle.
No. It was funny enough. No, originally we were the Mickey Waffle.
We were the
Mickey
Waffle.
Waffle.
Yeah,
We had a show out, which is episode 1.
Yeah,
and then we got approached on social media a few days later. Yeah, that while we were still in planning stages of the show, that they were called the Mickey. They were just called Mickey Waffles.
Waffles.
And we could have been over before we started.
Yeah. And then at the time, I think the Great British Bake Off was on TV.
It was.
Yeah.
And amongst us, we thought, oh, what are we going to do? And it's like,
add great to it.
Yeah, add great British. What are we? And then that's where, what was it? Our tagline, British band of British voices, united in all things Disney.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Yeah.
A ragtag band.
That's the one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And amongst all of those sort of planning calls, I remember we did a weekly call on Skype, which then led to us finding that subtitles don't work very well on Skype or in Scotland. And that was a lot of fun. And also, one of the first planning things, which I think happened before our show, we thought, do we need a jingle?
Come on down to the old Mickey Waffle. We've got waffle for you. Come on down to the old Mickey Waffle. This is what we're gonna do. We talk about Disney parks and resorts. We got Mickey ears and even Pixar shorts. Come on down to the old Mickey Waffle. We've got waffle for you.
The dulcet tones of Jill. Thank you.
Well done, Jill. Well done. Absolutely nailed the vocal.
I'm slightly sad that Gary Barlow doesn't do his song for Christmas anymore, because I think you'd be in the running, Joe. You
There you go.
Written something for that.
That's so funny. I remember that as well.
Yeah. There's planning session where we thought, what are we going to do? And it's because we'd all listened to the Dibcast previously and was like, we knew we wanted to do something different. What could we do? Yeah. And that was the thing. These past 4.5 years, we're still learning. We're still doing things differently. Sometimes things very differently. But I remember just how, listening back now to our first ever podcast, we always have able to avoid it because the audio quality is nowhere near what it is now. But the Millennium Falcon is not a plane.
Yes.
Sammie.
And apparently they're going to be able to interact with you on how you do on the rides and stuff. But I read that, like, if you crash the plane, the Millennium Falcon, cast members will be able to see how you did that. Sorry.
I'm going to start brushing up my apologies.
It's a Corellian freighter, woman. It's a Corellian freighter, woman.
And I'm such a big Star Wars fan, I just couldn't find the word, like ship or spaceship. I couldn't find the word.
Yeah.
I mean, it flies in the sky. It's basically a plane.
Yeah.
It works.
But wasn't that also the year, or was it the year after, where Virgin Atlantic teamed up with Disney to do a Millennium Falcon plane?
They did.
There we go.
So now the Millennium Falcon.
You probably got the idea from me, okay?
Yeah, I think so, Sammie. Yeah.
You let
Yeah.
Get
Get your lawyers on the phone. Yeah.
I think email Mr. Richard Branson. There you go. Give over some money. It was my idea. Yeah.
I think some of the best earliest of our shows were the 2 Christmas shows that we did. Yes, I know we won't run, but that doesn't matter. But
do you know what? You are right, Peter, because there is one of them that Lloyd did an incredible intro to.
He did, absolutely, yeah.
And it was it How the Waffle Saved Christmas?
Yeah, something like that.
It was Dr. Zeus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to a Christmas waffle. Is everybody sitting comfortably? Then we shall begin. Every waffle here down in Waffleville liked Disney holidays a lot. But John, who lived up north from Waffleville, did not. John hated Florida the whole holiday season. Please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on quite right. It could be perhaps his shoes were too tight. But I think the most likely reason, you see, was his trip report was still short by over a week. Now, Jill and Peter were similar. They loathed the Orlando cheer and all the shiny and sparkly props that surface ear to ear. They disliked the smiling and hugging, the merch and other nonsense. They despised the round-the-world drinking, but they did like to dance. They've got a grinchy grudge with Disney, I'm led to believe, and it may be down to postponing their trip to Tokyo, Disney Sea. Claire is an enigma to her Mickey distaste, but all the same, she says the place is one giant disgrace. She sneers at the dining plan and all of the trimmings. She covers her eyes and ears to avoid holiday wishes. It's not clear why a meet and greet will make grinchy Claire scour, but most say it's due to her house's regular loss of power. Sammie had a grudge against the big man on top, although she didn't mind Roy or the Imagineers or the Bobs. There's one guy on site gets her weak at the knees, but the magical Walt Disney ain't Spidey, you see. Though this isn't the cause of Sammie being rude, they say it's because Walt's still got more subs on YouTube. Ben and Becca post many things about Magic's Floridian home, but they don't contain niceties, just abuse and a moan. They block YouTube channels that play any Randy Newman. They roll their eyes at the Sherman Brothers, Phil Collins and Elton John. He played at their wedding, but they still won't change their view. And for Disney songs at Christmas, it's bar humbug and boo. Why this hostility towards Go the Distance and Let It Go? Well, someone saw Alan Menken on Splash Mountain in a poncho. Now, as the presenter of this tale, you may ask my opinion. Do I share these views and prefer the other park with the Minions? Well, whether or not I'm opposed to the Fab Five, it's my job to help these wafflers love Disney again this Christmas time. So let's start with a feature and look to reverse this aversion. Let's get tears in our eyes like when Marlin says, "Bye, son." Let's dig deep in our hearts and search out those happy festive memories. Think long and hard about that last smile saying goodbye to the castle as you had to leave. Regale me if you will, although it may be hard to do. Please share your Disney Christmas and any tips of how we could plus it too. So wafflers, let's lift our spirits and share any Christmas memories we might have to try and regain and save our Christmas cheer for Disney.
Oh, absolutely, that was incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lloyd,
getting on misty
Lloyd.
Oh.
I know. The other thing as well, though, did you have a crystal ball?
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Because you mentioned about Peter's dancing. And it's just it's really weird how it's just like there's so many things you said in there that actually came after.
Yeah.
And really bizarre. But it was just that was amazing. I love that.
And I still love Spider-Man, by the way.
Things never change.
I was just about to ask you there, Sammie. You know, it's one of those things that everyone who listens to the show, we get hundreds of emails every month.
Oh, sure.
Does Sammie still like Spider-Man?
Forever.
We need to know. We need to know. Yeah. Has she actually
and
found
Sammie?
Yes.
Has she found
Sammie
love with Tom Holland?
Well, I was thinking, Sammie, in the last film, you got 3 Spider-Men.
I mean, I know. I mean, Tom Holland was still the most beautiful, of course, but it was nice to see 3 of them. If they just put their masks on, I can just pretend they're all Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, yeah.
See, that's how they start. You see, it's all that real there's an undercurrent there, guys.
It's perfect.
I think a way to move this on. I remember during our first few months, we thought we always come up with new ideas of what to do on shows, and someone decided let's do something which we called the carousel of questions. Which there was a particular question that stumped quite a few of us.
What's your favourite car park?
What kind of question is that?
That's a great question.
Any car park will do.
Is that a song from a musical?
I mean, like, it's still literally the worst question that's ever asked.
Sammie, do you have a favourite car park?
Yeah, it's still true. Any car park will do.
Any car park.
Brilliant.
Within walking distance, any car park will do.
You weren't the only one that got
Actually, I now
that
have
question.
an answer. I now have an answer. The Spider-Man car park at
Oh,
Universal.
go on.
That's not yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Do you know something, Sammy? Every single person that we ever asked that question to, it's that moment in the show that we always still remember that particular moment. And actually, it's one of those things that it will forever live in everyone's mind. Even when you're on holiday and someone mentions, "Oh, which car park you're in?" Oh, and it instantly reduces itself to that moment with Sammy. You know, you're just like,
anyone will do. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Claire's genius, wasn't it?
Yes, and that question. Yeah.
Claire came up with those questions, and it was genius. Yeah.
Because it was like middle of the questions, and we had things like favourite snack, favourite park,
Yeah.
and then it was the first one like
It's easy ones, and
what's
then
your favourite car park?
Thrown a curveball, and I remember interviewing Lee Mongello, and we asked him those questions.
That's what I was going to say.
We got to what's your favourite car park, and this.
You can almost you can hear him googling it. You can hear him googling it. It was just like car park. What's the car park?
Yes. It was great. Oh, parking lot. Okay. But yeah,
And even then, he was still like, "What the hell is that question?
Why are you asking me that?"
Yeah.
It
It's
matters.
iconic.
Oh, wow.
It matters.
So I think now that Ben and Becca have experienced the joys of car hire, I think we should be asking them.
Yeah.
What's your favourite car park?
Any of them that have got an electric charger at the front row.
The one that's in Celebration.
Yeah, the one in Celebration.
Celebration Place, with the Tesla supercharger. Is like that one I do.
Yeah. Car snobs.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Definitely not Animal Kingdom.
Oh,
It's far.
That's controversial. Move on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you were mentioning Spider-Man. I think this leads lovely into this, and I think this was a New Year show where we spoke about bloopers and something to do with Lycra.
Do you think they will ever do a Marvel character buffet on a regular basis?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to eat my breakfast with all that lycra nearby. might put me off my food.
Hashtag it's not padding.
Right. Yeah. The light and leather of Marvel characters. It's not. That's not necessarily a breakfast time activity. I still believe that.
I mean, speak for yourself, Claire.
Well, they used to have one at Universal. So
yeah, lot of spandex.
Maybe Disneyland Paris.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know. Did they have breakfast foods at where you meet the characters at Universal? Did they?
No, they used to have a
dinner.
Yeah, dinner cafe 4 used to be a meet. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right.
Cool.
Yeah. Never been, unfortunately.
Cool. I think the characters feeling the same way as Sammy as well.
Yeah.
Well, Spider-Man's across the road.
Escape.
Yeah.
Close escape there.
Spider-Man meets across the road from Cafe 4, so that's where you were. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was going to meet Spider-Man. I didn't this year, actually. I didn't go and meet Spider-Man.
Oh no! You were there for 2 weeks and you didn't meet Spider-Man.
I know. I was like, it was too hot. It was too hot for anything because I just looked like a sweaty mess. And I can't go and meet Spider-Man when I look like a sweaty mess. That's just embarrassing. So
it's like he's in Disney World for 3 weeks and not seeing Happily Ever After, isn't it, Claire?
Oh, low blow! Look at that, Claire.
I'm looking forward to fixing that on your trip.
We'll
see. Can't wait. Yeah. But I don't know what happened on the next episode, but I have 4 clips from this one show.
Oh dear. That's never a good sign, that, Ben.
No. This one was from the episode Crepe Expectation.
Okay, of course.
Hey.
You are allowed to take food into the parks. This is a question that a lot of people ask. You are, as long as there's no alcohol. As long as there's no alcohol. What the hell? Okay.
Have you had any alcohol recently?
I haven't. I'm just tired. As long as there's no alcoholic beverages and no glass containers, no ice, and the bag or container.
That's one I don't remember actually. That's
Too much alcohol.
and I'm not even going to try and say it right now because that would be really embarrassing.
Do you know what's even worse though, Sammy? Is actually when you listen back to stuff and you don't remember half the stuff you say. Right?
Yeah.
None of us do either. And actually there's only Ben he's got a list of things. He's actually he's got we're actually open to we're actually open to quite a lot of blackmail bit here, aren't we? Like, it's just like,
oh yeah,
can you imagine? Yeah, if we don't get the show done properly,
in air at all, even in the bloopers. So.
Oh yeah,
won't ever air. Even if they were at a level on Patreon, we would not share it.
Let's not talk about those.
Here's another one.
Noodle dish. What was it called?
Yob shrimp.
Yob shrimp noodle salad. It's the Star Wars take on shrimp. They've just called it yob shrimp.
Yob.
Yeah, the yob sounded a bit weird. That was all.
Hooligan shrimp.
Yeah.
Shav shrimp. Shav shrimp noodle salad. Yeah. Comes a little hoodie.
Tag round its ankle. Yeah.
You did miss the opportunity, Lloyd. You could have actually upgraded your drink option to that hard cider, the blood orange hard cider that's in the place that used to be the writer's stop as well. That's always quite a nice one.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
It was the at the end.
Yeah. I know exactly what's going on there. I was trying to lead Lloyd astray.
I know you were.
I don't remember that conversation at all.
I just can't believe all
Go
in
into
the same
the
episode.
episode.
Yeah.
But it kind of, that kind of suits. I'd love it. Yeah, I'd love to actually go back and I think we should, go back and actually watch some of that because I'm beginning to think, Sammy's alcohol might have actually overtaken quite a few of us. I think at that particular point. Yeah.
I think it was just all when we just started laughing when it was a quick crepe in Epcot.
Going for a quick crap.
Yeah. And then also, I think that was the episode where we did was a Disney date on a budget.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I think we had was that $50 to spend.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that day. So you're at the boardwalk. You go to Ample Hills Creamery for an ice cream.
I knew you'd go, Claire. I knew you'd go first.
Oh no!
Brilliant.
I'll start again. You're at the boardwalk. You go to. I can't even say it.
Ample Hills Creamery.
That's the one. Okay.
The ice cream place. Let's call it the ice cream place.
Well, it's called now anyway.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Ample Hills? Let's face it.
Indeed.
What was it that made you laugh? Was it like creamery? Was that it?
No, it's the whole thing.
It is the whole thing. It is the most wrong. Go on, Claire.
It harks back
Claire
to the
started it.
With Grant and I think it was Grant and Rob probably. I think had a few gigs previously, and I'm sure Judith Chalmers was in there somewhere as well, but it was one of those things that I just remember them giggling about. And as soon as Ben said it, that was it. I just got. I had visions. I had all thoughts going on in my head. So there was no way I was quiet.
And that's the thing. You say something, and then it's like everyone starts laughing, and you're just like, "I'm going to carry on with this," and then you.
What do I say?
Because we all end up laughing. We all just like once one person goes, we all just end up corpsing, and
absolutely,
it's just funny.
Yeah.
And I think this is the best clip of this entire entire.
It didn't even spoil it when they waited for the horse to relieve themselves on the grass in Port Orleans. But,
that might have been your recollection of that well-remembered romantic evening, Peter.
When the horse was defecating.
It was a chilly night. So sat next to each other in a carriage with a blanket.
How long? Sorry, Peter. How long does the ride last for?
It was nearly an hour. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was quite long.
Come on, Claire, the cold night.
Yes, it lasted about an hour.
It lasted about an hour.
It was a nice slow journey around the resort. We got to see French Quarter as well.
It was the CM driving the carriage. That, there's nothing we can do about it.
You're not gonna make this any better, Peter.
Even try there, Peter. You'll be relegated to Ben will just drop you out of the show altogether.
And the thing is, I was trying. I was trying not to swear, so I said defecate instead of another word. So see, I was trying to behave.
Oh, dear.
That was brilliant.
The more it went on, the funnier it was.
Yeah.
This is just so much fun.
Yeah.
And I think that was February 2020. 2020, there was an awful lot of bloopers. I'm wondering what happened that year.
We had nothing else to do. Some of us and coming home.
Enough,
and we found out a little bit more about each other.
It's early 2020 as well. So
yes, we did. You'll be wearing a Gucci Mickey jumper next.
This is my 11th time. To be fair, I have done it the slow way, and I totally get what you're saying. The slow way is good. I like it both ways. Sometimes I like the slow way. Sometimes I like it.
It's Becca who's making me laugh.
Yeah, so good. I don't know what Becca's on tonight. I tell you. Normally Claire would giggling at this funny stuff, and that set me off. You tonight.
Sorry, my brain just went straight to the gutter there, Sammy.
As soon as I heard the giggle, mine went to the gutter.
It was when you talked about Spider-Man earlier.
That was pulled out of context.
Absolutely.
I don't remember what you were actually describing.
Me neither. No. I just know it was pulled out of context, though.
Absolutely.
Can I point out, guys, there's something really bizarre here, because actually, when you listen back to that now, right, and how we were completely creased, right, Claire actually said something very similar on our Wafflers Wednesday, which is Wednesday, 22nd of November. Go back and watch it. She said exactly the same thing, Sammy.
Oh, really?
Just saying,
right?
Like Claire. And we were so professional because it was really early in the show, right? Yeah. And actually, I just didn't want to spoil. The flow of the show was going so well, and I thought, if I lose it here, we are absolutely stuffed, right? Because
it was only like 5-10 minutes in. It was right at the beginning of the show.
But look how much we've learned over this time. Look, you can say some of that. And I gave it a completely blank look for those people watching. But I will still come back and say, Claire, you did it again. And actually, Sammy, it's not just you who likes it like that.
Both ways, yeah.
I remember Was it our Epcot 40th show? And I think Peter might have said this about
probably
because you're talking about walking around Epcot, and it was like you like doing it anti-clockwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it's not toilet humour.
Yes.
At least it's not bathroom humour, which I appear to be most famous for.
Indeed.
That is true. That is true.
Talking of
bathrooms, here we go.
Right. Can I go a bit slightly off the question? Slightly already.
Are you cheating?
Yeah.
That's my game.
But I think I'm going for the toilets on the Disney Magic.
Oh.
Yeah. Because not only is there somebody in there all the time, not only do they clean them after
I'm not sure I like the sound of that.
Okay.
You have to share the loo.
In the evening, there is a person looking after the loos all the time, all evening.
An attendant.
Yeah, an attendant.
Okay, a bathroom
They clean it
attendant.
for you
Okay.
after you use it. They clean it after you use it. Seriously, each individual.
That's very
person
personal.
gets a very clean loo.
Yeah.
And they say, "Have a magical day when you leave."
Worst night. Imagine someone going to clean just after you've been in there. That's horrific.
Okay.
It's not okay. I was on your side 100%.
I'm slightly worried you hear the flush and you just hear, have a magical day.
And does anyone notice that it's kind of Peter's thing that he's going to go off on a little tangent somewhere?
I think
Peter does best.
After 100 shows, I think.
Dare you?
Yes.
Well, have to tune in to show 101 to hear what we think of the Tokyo toilets. That's
Are they going to blog in Room 101?
No, they belong in
it might be. It might be show 101 to 200. I think by the sounds of it. Yeah.
Well, in that same episode where we spoke about bathrooms, there was an April Fool. If anyone actually listened to it and realised that we thought, because we changed a lot of that episode because we recorded a show just before we went into lockdown. So it all completely changed. But we were unsure whether to keep this in. And I'm glad we did because, John, I think you must have had so much fun reading this.
We interrupt this show for some special breaking news from Disney. There's exciting breaking news that's coming from Disneyland Paris today. And it's a version of the Skyliner being planned to bring British visitors closer to Disney in Europe. The newly appointed CEO for this project, Avril Fish, has promised heated cabins travelling from the south coast of England and reaching the park in speedy, safe and Disney-reliant transport, meaning there will no longer be a need for the ferry, Eurostar or even aeroplanes to Paris, possibly with a view of reducing the carbon footprint of each UK Disney visitor. The aim of this is to make visiting Disneyland Paris as easy for our British visitors as it was before Brexit. Avril also detailed the inspiration taken from the bridge or tunnel proposed to link Scotland and Northern Ireland. Building work is expected to start today, and with orders already placed with the company who designed the Walt Disney World Skyliner, it promises to be an exciting highway in the sky.
If only.
You
wouldn't get me on it.
Okay.
April Fish.
Has everyone else been on the Skyliner? Because I know we've spoken about this on the podcast before. Because remember, Sammy, I think we did that Pop Century episode where you were unsure.
Yeah, I mean, I have to eat my words. It was very handy. Very, very handy.
Yeah. Cool.
I didn't email Pop Century again and Mona. Ate my words. It was great.
I think as well, Ben. I think I think in order to embarrass my eldest son, I think it's worth noting the fact that we hark back to certainly our inspiration from those who record the Dibcast, and I actually experienced that firsthand where the Dibcast did an April Fool where the little shop in Epcot was going to become a Tesco Express, and our Josh fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And when you're driving the car and your kids are listening in the back, you never think that they're just taking it in. And so we actually went on holiday that summer, and he turned around and said, "It's the same as it was last year. It's the same. It's the same." And even we were like, "Well, what do you mean?" Well, Jeff has said it was going to be a Tesco Express, and then for us at that particular moment, we were just like, as parents, we were just absolutely cracking ourselves, whilst trying not to absolutely destroy someone. I think it would be about 9 or something at the time, and it was just like, okay, son, right, okay. So when you listen to something on the radio or on a podcast, it might not actually be true if it comes out on the 1st of April. And I've got a picture, and I will try and find the photo. And he's just like, and he still looks sheepish. If you look at the picture, he's just got his hands up, and it's just that look on his eye. He was absolutely done over. And if anyone who listened to any of our April Fool stuff, because we did a couple of them and things like that. Yeah. But if you experience that with your kids, it would just bring great joy to the knowledge that we've passed on. We passed on a little bit of a tradition and things like that. And
I'll admit it,
that was one of the best ones. It was one of the best.
It wasn't one of ours. Does anyone remember the one where the sorcerer's hat was going to be put? Was it in the lagoon by Magic Kingdom? I felt for that because I wanted that one to happen.
Yeah.
And I remember when the Marketplace Co-op was opening at Disney Springs. And in my head, all I could think of was like a local co-op.
A proper co-op.
Oh, that's different. Okay. Not what I'd normally expect at downtown Disney.
Brilliant.
I think you better explain what that is for our American listeners, Ben.
Yeah.
It's a local food store.
Yeah.
A little corner shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Smaller than a Publix.
The shops.
Yeah. As Lloyd is here as well tonight, we need to talk about this. And I think it's the first time we talk about Finding Nemo, the musical.
Oh, yeah.
It's the dad bit at the end. It's the dad bit at the very, very end. And it's the last look. And if you've got the cast members who deliver it, if you look at Marlin, it's the intake of breath. There's a real massive intake of breath after Nemo just waves at the very end, and that's me. I'm a wreck after that each time. But it's the music throughout it. The music for me, I love my music, and I love just everything that comes within that. And on the darkest of days, I found myself just keep swimming, just pops into my head, and you're suddenly like, yeah, it's not about fish. It's about life, and it's about just.
That's a great sentiment.
It was incredible. And when you think of everything that's happened to us all since, health and all the sort of things, life challenges, everything that's got in the way, we just think of just keep swimming.
Yep. It's not a bad motto.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I think as well, and that, I know Katie sent us a message earlier in the show, and it's probably a pertinent moment to mention it. On my darkest of days, I know Neil and Karen listened to the show, but they were in Walt Disney World, and I was strange enough, I was in a hospital bed, and they sent a message. They went to find Katie. They sent me a message. I would never ever share it. It's far too personal. It's far too reminiscent of a time that, in my own head, I've kind of it's there. It happened and things like that. But to actually have, I think Becca, you gave me wrong about this very early on when we talk about people who are creators of either YouTube content and things like that. And you said, that's what we do. And I just come on and talk, and that's it. And actually to have somebody record something for me and have the ability to have somebody that comes from that exact mantra of just keep swimming at probably one of the lowest moments of my entire life was just it. I know we spoke about it with Katie in the January show this year, and it was just like it absolutely hit me like a ton of bricks, and I'm quite strong about everything that's happened because things happen to you, but at that moment, and just the fact that I had that whole thing, and it's weird listening to that back about that. Talking about that just keeps going because it is what got me through, and Katie actually reduced me to absolute rubble. That particular day, I was just like, I was done, and it was just like, it was as if all of those happy days had just come to give you a good kick up the backside as to where you go next. And it's not about you. It's not about how you're feeling. It's about fight. Get better, because your kids matter more than you do. And and I think that's probably the low moment of the whole show, guys. So let's lift it a little bit more, because every time I talk about that, it really, I don't talk about it enough, because I know there's a lot of people who suffer.
Yeah.
If you do and you want someone to talk about, get in touch with me. I am more than willing to support you, because it's the most horrible disease. But do you know something? It's not the end. It's treatable. You can get better, and you just need people around you, and that's all I'm going to say. But we'll go from there.
I think also that episode was also the one where we spoke for the first time about the 2 shows at Disney's Animal Kingdom, where we thought which one was going to be the better show. And I still think we all agree the same, that it's exact split amongst all of us.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think
even Lucy was a draw.
Right.
Yeah, it's a draw. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then a few months after that,
we've grown up about.
Yeah.
Although I'd be interested to see what you think of the new version.
Yeah.
Me?
But
or John?
All of you.
Everyone.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's
fun, Sammy.
It's still better than the Festival.
Brilliant.
Yeah, like I said, I love Festival of the Lion King, I really do. But it still pips it for me. It's just the songs and the vibe and the actors. It just gives me good feels.
Yeah.
And I remember a few months after that show, we would, I don't know who it was, probably was me. Let's think about doing something live.
It was you. It was 2020. You were bored.
Yeah, that is true. I was
you were so bored. We added on a mid-month show that year with guests.
Does anyone remember the Disney Plus show we did, where we spoke about all the films that were coming out on Disney Plus that literally just launched? And at the very end of that show, I'm not sure whether Lloyd remembers that show, but from that show, become a cooking masterclass called Pizza. And I have that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special waffle. It's just me and Lloyd today. Hello, Lloyd. Hello. Now, I'm a chef and a pastry chef, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to guide Lloyd through doing Mickey cookies. That's something cool. That's going to be cool, and I'm sure they're going to be fabulous. Right, okay, so first thing we need to do is you've weighed out all your ingredients, yes?
Yeah, just double check. Just if you run me through, I'll tell you what I've got.
Right, okay. In which case, I can also get my piece of paper that I've written the grams on as well, so that we can run through the ingredients.
Yeah.
And then I can do that. So I'll be a minute.
Yeah, sure. And I'm sure Ben can work all his magic, and he can either put a link on, or, I don't know, maybe he's that good I can just go, the recipe will appear over there now.
There you go. I am back. Hello. Right, so I have made these. I will say that. I have made these, and they turned out quite nice. They do turn out quite big as well. They are the size that you get in the box. They are really big.
Did they taste like the ones from Main Street?
It does taste like sugar cookies that you get at Disney.
Right, okay, cool.
Not quite the same, but near enough.
You actually done him there when he was like, it'll be right here, and then just comes up.
Yeah. How can I put this off the screen?
Lloyd, you were a great support for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were, dude, and you did really well.
Yeah.
Your cookies look wonderful.
You did, yes.
We're gonna change that line, aren't we? The cookies you made look wonderful.
Yes.
It was good. It was good. I deserved it. Although
it was funny.
What you get for
down. What are you going to do except drink? And then
This is what happens when you turn up to a recording inebriated. Huh?
I think of myself as the Oliver Reed of podcasts.
The Dudley Moore of the Great British Review.
That's better.
Right.
Lloyd, it's one of those things. And if you want to watch the full show, just head over to our YouTube channel and join in on cooking yourself.
Listen to
where I was
the Disney Plus episode too, because that was hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the Lindsay Lohan special? Wasn't it?
It was the Lindsay Lohan.
It was Waffle has asked a question: what's on Disney Plus?
Lloyd, the one question that remains though: have you made the same cookies again?
He's forgotten the recipe.
No, I don't think I have. I've done some different Disney recipes, but I don't think I've done the cookies again.
Cool. Oh, well.
They were nice though. They were nice pieces.
Yeah, it's a nice recipe.
There you go, yeah, there you go.
As alluded to earlier, I was bored during COVID, as a lot of us were, and I started to create a few graphics, which felt like some of our shows.
This is amazing. It's just amazing.
This is one of the ones that I don't know whether this is one we actually used, but one I was most proud of.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and use it for Waffles Assemble.
Yeah, we did.
That was the live show.
Yeah, I like the ones you did for the One Division shows as well. They were really
Yes.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah.
And for those of you that can't see it because you're listening on the podcast,
head over to our YouTube
head
channel.
over to the YouTube channel.
And I think some of those graphics may make a return in the new year. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so. Because actually, as someone who doesn't have that level of technological sort of creativity, they were something else. They really were. They were, and when we went live, and we went long live.
Yes, we did.
I can't remember, and it was because we could. Everyone forgets.
It helps to do.
Yeah.
No, and it was that complete release during lockdown of how you have people who just you came together as a community. And it's not just us. There was lots and lots of other creators who we were going on to their shows. They were coming to our shows, and it was just a way of actually getting a little bit of magic into your life. And it was just But your graphics, Ben, and I take my hat off to you because they were absolutely just jaw dropping because they would even now looking back, it was just like, how on earth you do that? It's just it blows me away. I'm absolutely stunned by it. But bring them back because it's even that music as well. I love that bit of music.
I'm just looking through the next clip, and we fast forward to it. This is January 2021, and I think we must have been to Disneyland Paris. Not that must have been about August of that year. It must have been just during COVID. And I had that first time where I thought I'm going to go on a roller coaster that goes upside down, quite close, just a bit too tight. So,
is it Hyperventilate Mountain?
Close enough, yeah.
I think
the worst thing we actually got, and I was sat down like that, and I just panicked.
I'm a fan of a tight restraint.
Yeah,
I prefer them tight.
The better.
Wait till you open your Secret Santa.
You might want to frame that slightly differently, Claire. I think
Extra blooper, folks. Extra blooper.
Claire, you're taking my job away from me.
As I said I knew it sounded awful.
See, I didn't even get it until I spoke, and then I was like, right, okay.
Okay, ignore me.
It's February 2020. We went to Paris.
Yes, and August 2020.
And August 2020. But that particular time, that was February because it was cold and we were wearing coats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't feel very Disney-esque. That's
what going with coats.
No.
Yeah, Disney with coats never works. Claire, I was more intrigued. Right, even about 20% of the way through that clip when you were saying it. And the look on your face, and actually, it was just one of those moments of like, oh my word, I'm saying this, I need to finish it off. It's like, it was just like, oh no, I'm gonna.
Actually, have a weird thing. Just watching that clip, I'm actually wearing the same top tomorrow.
That's so funny.
It's so weird.
Oh.
That's the same top that I'm wearing. So it's. Yeah, no, I that often happens when I say something without thinking, and halfway through saying it, I realise this isn't what I meant to say. But you know,
You mean, no, don't. It's the wafflers that misconstrue these dirty
this is exactly what I meant to say. It's everyone else and how they think.
Exactly. Yeah. You were completely innocent in all this.
To be fair, quite often. Yeah, and I think exactly what I mean.
Some of us do struggle to pronounce some things on the show.
Oh, this has to be Becca.
How did you know?
Full bar and grab a big blue ocean, which is Savida. Oh, sorry. Well, I'm not going to bother saying the name. It's a vodka, rum. A boss blue.
Have another go.
It's like por favor, mantengas a hello.
Red cut vodka, Bacardi Superior rum, Boss Blue Curacao, and Minute Maid lemonade with a miniature glow cube.
Are you going to get a job there telling people how it's pronounced?
No,
like one of these.
My ability to pronounce.
Is this why you'd send me to the bar?
Words in English is bad enough.
That's even better.
Yeah, that thing.
Did you drink it before?
I'll go order that next week.
I thought we were going to get Becca's por favor mantengas y Alejandro Spuertas. That's even better. That's my word.
However more Becca, I'm going to call it Curacao. That's it.
I think
it's what happens when you drink alcohol.
I didn't have any alcohol. I just couldn't pronounce any of those words.
I loved that episode where we did the Bar Wars, Rise of Skyline, where we did the Skyline of
that was fun.
Crew.
Yeah.
Because also there was something we all found out about John.
I'd say the choice in here is actually really limited at the moment, and I've got to say, if I did manage to get that chowder out of animation, I'd either just go for a donut in here or dill pickle in a pouch.
What? That sounds wrong in every possible way.
It just sprung out of the menu from me.
I'm just going to have a quick look at the menu. Where are we? Pop Century.
It's just like,
that isn't a thing.
Pickle, it's not going to be in a pouch. He's going to be in one of them plastic wrap things.
What sort of a pouch?
That's what I was thinking, Claire. I just thought.
This for me, it sounds like you got. Sounds like you got a dill pickle in a sporran or something. What's going on?
It's one of those. One of those? Yeah, I've seen one of the. I'm going to share the screen.
Yeah.
What?
Ben's going to share his dill pickle in a pouch.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, it just looks so good, doesn't it? It just that's at least 20. That's at least 20 of your 5 a day.
That's wrong on so many levels.
And it does. But I tell you what a great choice. Imagine the fun you're going to get with 2 teenage kids.
Can you imagine the smell when you open the plastic?
No, it's just going to be like. It's going to be like opening. It's just going to be like opening the gherkins at home, isn't it?
No,
ranting all the time anyway. You know, that's why I only get one or two of them on a McDonald's burger, because otherwise they'll just take over the whole smell of McDonald's, wouldn't they?
John, when we get back on the Skyliner, I'm not sitting next to you.
He's in his own. He's in his own bucket. He's not coming with us.
Oh, brilliant!
Little did you know that they're so popular now. Like,
yeah,
you get them everywhere.
Yeah.
Our local shops have them.
I don't understand it. I really don't.
They're in the UK.
Maybe they're popular because of our show, John.
John was
There you go. There you go. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
For the Christmas party, maybe we all have to go out and buy one.
Oh God.
Email.
You want me to throw up?
Oh no,
Absolutely
Jill.
not a chance.
Oh,
You can quick buy one, but we won't eat it.
Just no.
I'm not wasting my money.
Okay.
I wonder, right? Because I saw these.
Secret Santa.
Jill.
Oh wow, yeah. Now we're talking. That's I can talk that, Ben. I saw a strange array of these, because there's all kinds of different flavors and different kind of chemicals that they put in the bag and things like that. Right? But was it one of these American sweetie outlets things, and they think that's the thing, right? So you're looking at it, you get a price that is even more than they were charging in Florida, and you're expecting to sell it, right? Sell by date 2029. There's something wrong. There's something wrong going on there. There's something wrong going on there, isn't there?
It's horrific.
I think we need to move on from that.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good idea.
Our next clip is from when we had a guest on the show, and he had one of the best British acts.
I have a funny British story about alien encounter.
Oh,
and I hope it's not insulting, because I'm going to do the voice for you.
Oh no, we love that.
Okay, yeah. It seems insulting though, but I remember I got on, and there was obviously a UK family, because the child went, "Mother, is there going to be danger here?" And the mother said, "No, there is no danger here." And I'm like, "Oh, damn, this poor kid. This kid has no idea." And I couldn't say anything. If you remember Alien Encounter, though, Kathy Najimy was an actress who was one of the aliens. And one of the lines she says is, "Those people down there are in danger." Now, I knew this was coming because I've been on the ride 100 times. And he said again, "Mother, are you sure there's no danger here?" And she said no. And then Kathy Najimy, right before the lights go out, right before the alien explodes from the glass shell, make believe with air in your face, goes, "Those people down there are in danger." And then you hear, and all I heard was, "Ah!" This kid must still be in therapy till today. How do you trust your mom ever again?
That's amazing. Such a good story.
John was he was a fun guest to have on.
Wasn't he just?
It came out of nowhere as well. We didn't even prompt that. And he was just like, "I'm going to tell you a story." Great.
Yep.
So much
When his
fun.
British accent, well, his English accent wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It was not. I've heard worse, Dick Van Dyke, looking at you.
I actually,
we had
that's
some
one
really
of
cool guests that year. We
have
excellent guests.
we have.
Yeah.
And that actually, that for me is one of the most standout moments, because actually we never knew what he was about to say. Yeah. And when he went into that mode, and it was just like, I think we've all been there in the parks, and things have been going on around and about us. You know, even it's the fact that you turn around to the family and you say, as somebody's making quite a loud noise and someone's having a meltdown, and you just turn around to the family and go, "Yeah, happiest place on earth," and keep walking. That was one of the moments I think we've ever recorded where you couldn't even come back to John on that. It was brilliant.
No. And I think the next one's from a live show which Sammie, Claire, and John were on.
Okay.
This is why.
Sammie rescued this.
Yeah, you did.
Yes,
An amazing job.
Big time. Oh my word!
This was outside.
Was that your tour?
Yeah.
So the boy with the Mickey ears on is Morgan.
No.
Yeah, that's mental.
Wait.
No.
The bottom left.
Yeah.
You're joking me, man.
No, because those Italian ears are sitting in our lounge at the moment.
Oh my word.
Okay.
That's
now,
like
Sammie. At the moment, the stream is about to break because Claire and I have just had one of those moments in life that I'm now going to have to dig out all the photos that I took everybody else out of the pictures. That is how bizarre.
People who are watching, they just realised
this is
that
an
their
oh
two kids
my
were in
God,
they two did the same tour.
But we were at the same tour then as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
So,
were at the same
you must
tour.
have been that annoying scouser that I've talked about.
Amazing.
That still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
I can't believe I was there for it. Like, insane.
The
I
day
witnessed
that it happened.
Sammy actually, that from that moment, I think both Claire and I were completely just in a completely different world, and to be able to carry the show on from there on was just for us. Our minds were just completely done in, and you did such an amazing job, and I'll always be thankful for that because I think Claire that moment just epitomizes every reason why we've loved doing this from show one, and then only a matter of weeks ago we get the chance of actually all meeting up properly at the Disney 100 exhibition in London, and actually when the kids actually got together and actually met one another properly, it was as if it was purely as if they've known each other that whole length of life, and it was the most beautiful experience for them, but also I think for us as well, because I think we both said to each other, it was just crazy. We've known you guys forever. It was just amazing, and how that ever happened, and we got the chance to come and do 100 shows.
Right. So it was completely unplanned as well. You just had that photo that you uploaded. And I had no idea that you had that photo.
I had no idea who the kid. I didn't know who the kid was sitting in front of my kids. There was a kid in front of my kids. I was trying to take a picture. He was in the way.
No, it's totally goosebump worthy because, like, what are the chances? It's literally 1 in a million. It literally 1 in a million.
Probably more than that, Sammie.
Probably.
It's insane.
Just unreal. Absolutely unreal. Really was. I think as well. I think for anybody who was watching that show, I think even now, we've mentioned it a few times since, and still people will be in the chat and go, "What? You guys on the same tour, but you didn't know that you didn't know who each other were." Yeah, that was us. Yeah.
It's kind of like a full circle moment. Full circle moment for sure.
Because it was live, you never know what was going to happen. It's one of those things. It doesn't matter. It's you never know what's going to happen. And I know we did what was the show we did for the 50th anniversary?
When we had some live people in
Magic Kingdom.
In Magic Kingdom, didn't we?
Yeah.
3-hour show.
Yeah. And we were joined by
Now
Kelly.
there's a line for the confectionery. Of course.
It's the 1st of October. There's a line.
Have patience. This morning, there were no lines. Nobody wanted a cupcake.
Nope.
Now,
They're all hungry now.
the line appears to be... Oh, okay. Oh, good. Maybe it is a different line. Yeah. Okay, we're going to go sneak in the back door. We're going to do something highly illegal. We're just doing it anyway. Are you with me? I'm just walking.
Everyone's watching.
If anyone's going to do it, Kelly's likely to do it. Go on then.
Okay, guys, this is highly illegal. We're walking in the outdoor, but I'm going to tell them I have 7 people from the UK with me.
And 23. There's 23 people
Yes,
watching.
23
people watching.
Yeah. Okay, hi. Just turn around. That she's so funny.
That was just incredible.
Amazing.
I was watching that live. I was in the chat on that show. I remember it.
Yeah.
So fun. We all just wanted to be there, didn't we? It was like borders hadn't opened at that point, and it was like that was the closest we were going to get to Magic Kingdom that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was so funny. She was hilarious.
Yeah.
She is hysterical.
She just walked in the outdoor.
It's the wild card.
Talking of things that also go wrong on a live show.
And thank God it's me instead of you.
Oh, here we go. Rapids.
Oh, here we go. I love this. This is like Schadenfreude. It's amazing.
Go on, Claire, this is your moment.
So it was like that being in Fantasmic.
Amazing.
What was that? I think we're eating the hair.
We only have pair of headphones for that. It's working.
It was like, you know, that moment in Little Mermaid in Part of Your World.
Yeah, with
the rock and the wave comes up right behind. It's just like that. Yeah.
We need a shot of just a moment when he.
Yeah.
And it just. Yeah, we need that shot. We need a single
That's
shot.
not when things go wrong either. That's when things go right on the show.
Yeah.
Wrong for Zach, right for us.
That's gold.
That is gold, and it is so funny.
was.
It's like, it was so it was live, and there was nothing he could do.
No.
And, it's good.
I think as well. Yeah, and I think for all of us there, what we were actually thinking was this is so risky, right? Because he's live, he's on there, and you're thinking if he gets that seat, oh my word, okay. And we were all overthinking it ourselves. We were thinking he's absolutely lined up. He's gonna get wet. You're gonna get wet. And when it happened, it was just like, one of them moments you're thinking, the poor lad, we're gonna have to buy him a new phone.
Yeah, it did blow his mind for a bit.
Yeah, I remember.
I know.
On that show, he said we're going to be going from Animal Kingdom, but he didn't say where. So when he joined, and he was already strapped into
Carly,
it
was amazing.
It's his own fault, basically. You never told him to do it.
He did go and try off on Expedition Everest afterwards.
He did try off.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got about 4 or 5 clips left. But talking of live shows, I think another Christmas live, which we did a few of those. There's one that always sticks in our memory.
There's always the search for baby Jesus. That's fun. The search for baby Jesus. Every year. The search for baby Jesus. So we have this manger, this old school manger. And I don't know if you guys have this thing is really, it's really shabby now. I mean, it's probably was built in the 50s. It has like real straw, or what was real straw, like glued or something to it at some point. And it's got the characters that were like plastic, but the kind of plastic that in a landfill will never degrade ever. Right? And like the colors are still great, right? Yeah, it's wonderful lead-based plastic. And so then there's nothing like a lead angel. So you have all that, and then it's like the manger scene. It's like the manger. Yeah. All the right. And then there's like the little what do you call it? I don't know. Like the thing that he left.
Manger?
Crib. I mean, it's not like there's like a.
It's called the manger.
Yeah,
that is the manger.
The manger is like the
little
bassinet type thing. It wasn't a bassinet in 2000.
The manger.
Anyway,
The manger.
the manger
is a feeding trough.
No, the manger's inside the
It's the manger.
inside the stable.
It doesn't look like a feeding trough. Anyway, it's like a little pillow, but it's not. And okay, no.
John's lost it. Guys.
The part that's weird. We haven't gotten the weird part yet.
You guys criticize me for making show so long.
The part that's weird is that the baby Jesus is free floating. The baby Jesus, it's like a little.
Well, that makes sense.
Yes.
It's like a little plastic baby Jesus.
I said crab, like as soon as
He's like this. He's like You know that baby Jesus is?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And,
it's a baby.
And like he's helpless because he's a baby, but he's Jesus, so he's not. You know, so it's like anyway.
Yeah.
So so
Jesus.
he's detachable. But the fancy way of attaching him in this manger is that there's a nail, like a little nail, that comes out. Look,
that's foreshadowing.
Not lost on me.
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah. There's a little nail that comes out of the manger, and it goes into the back of the little baby
Spoilers.
Jesus.
Is that what happens when you invite Jason onto a show?
Jason and Marcus together.
It is said that he's still talking about that manger right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A manger.
Was that you, Sammy? That halfway through you just went, Jesus.
Yes.
That's it. Great.
And then John, when you lose it halfway through, it's like
And again, John's like gone.
I actually, even listening back, I don't actually think part of it was Jason and just personal experience from having done so many nativity plays for years and years and years and years. Because actually, it used to get teaching assistants into generally about sort of late November, early December times. We can't find the baby Jesus for the manger. And you could sense the level within school, it got to fever pitch. So I could understand that. But it was the heckling of Marcus. And Marcus is just like the one person who can actually, he just cuts Jason to the absolute core. He's just like, again,
and he goes, "It's the manger."
And like he was talking about Jesus, the baby Jesus floating. I'm like,
free floating Jesus.
What are you talking about? What is the
But
point?
no,
of
it's the spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's foreshadowing. That's foreshadowing.
It does make me giggle. That whole thing makes me laugh so much.
It is.
You know what? That's what we all do this for. Is there's so much.
Yeah.
There's so many clips, but some of them really do make you laugh.
You know, a beer keller family, large group experience, really, rather than me sitting on my Todd with a. I was going to say we sit on the top of the bratwurst.
I thought you were going to go a bunch of strangers. So.
Yeah.
I'm saying nothing.
That'll be the. We've got to get that in the title.
I completely understand what you mean, Claire. I'll keep it going. I'll be professional, so we don't even have to edit or anything.
There's just
It's the same thing. I'm halfway through saying it, and I realise that I shouldn't have started.
That's where we get our the demographic of the 20 to 28-year-old male tuning into the show. Or Claire's things that she tries to stop herself halfway through, but just continues the sentence.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yep.
And that was also in the dark days of dodgy internet.
Yeah,
things have improved significantly.
Oh yeah,
just saying.
I think I have another clip from that show.
Yeah.
No, where it's all about your dodgy internet, but also this talks about, what was it, ages?
Okay, are you ready, Claire?
Not at all.
That's what I thought you'd say. Okay, when did you first step into a Disney park?
So my first Disney park experience was back in 1990. Ben, which year were you born?
1990.
Yeah. Oh gosh. So
ouch.
Yeah, right. And I was about to say it was in 1990. I'm now not going to say.
It's not always me that brings it up.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well, Becca. But you're the worst one for it, Becca, because you always mention it, and it's just it's the whole thing of
yeah.
I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest.
You missed the good times. That's all I'm saying.
You and I are the same age, aren't we, Claire?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You're all babies. You're all youngsters.
Yeah.
I feel like
only ever as old as you feel.
I feel 30.
I'm about 100 then.
Yeah.
I'm ready to.
Oh.
Ready to retire.
We should have been retired by now and living in Golden Oak. That was the plan.
Oh, I remember.
It was
going to win the lottery.
That was the lottery win, wasn't it? That was the plan.
Lloyd and I were cutting the grass. That was it. Mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
That would have been. That.
Did I tell you my ex next door neighbour when my last house I was living in used to be the gardener for Take That when they shared a house.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
That one even.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I forgot about the information.
Clang
documentary's out.
Clang moment there, Lloyd. Yeah, that's what
Clang.
Clang.
The grass for Gary Barlow. Clang.
See, John, I know you've teased this next clip for the past couple of months because you were surprised that I took it out of the episode, but I knew I had to get a blooper for this show. So this one's from Show Us Your Pumpkins episode.
You go across to America. For me, notwithstanding the Disney part of it, but actually you look at how America actually go about celebrate Halloween. They don't do Guy Fawkes. So yeah, we've got two big big things.
We get an extra. We get a bog off deal, don't we?
We celebrate a Catholic terrorist the week after. That's it. And if that makes the edit, there you go. Thank you very much. The people of York salute the Great British Mickey Waffle because Guy Fawkes.
That will make the bloopers.
Guy Fawkes. There you go. That's fine.
Subtitle of the show.
He was.
I think the title of the show is "Show Us Your Pumpkins." Isn't it?
I think it is.
Nice one.
Last thing you said there, Claire, get your pumpkins out.
And the problem is, I don't see it.
There you go.
Just go back and listen or watch the 1st of October show. That was just so much fun.
Except the bit I didn't get to talk about Guy Fawkes, but having experienced the clamour for everything that we do and explain the British way. Next year, keep with us because we're going to do a whole show.
Guy Fawkes.
A whole show on Guy Fawkes, and we'll do the whole history of blowing up.
Yeah. We never come with a different name than Catholic terrorists. I'm hoping so.
I think maybe so. Yes,
because we might lose the family-friendly approach.
Yes,
maybe. Yeah,
maybe.
We mean it in all nice kind of bits. But having said that, if you're ever in York, right, go and check out all of the history linked to Guy Fawkes because it's absolutely amazing. And York is the most beautiful city to go and visit. There you go.
We have finally
I'll send
made
them an email and ask for 10%.
End of the clip.
Good save, John.
Last blooper.
The last.
See what I did there, Lloyd. You see, I still got it. You see, I can still reel it back in.
You never had it, John.
John alluded to this clip earlier. This clip is from our most recent show, where we spoke about driving in Orlando for the first time.
Back in the day. As Claire said, the VW Beetle was the forerunner in that because they had the engine in the back.
Yeah,
and
the Badger, which had the open back engine.
Yeah.
My first boyfriend had a VW Beetle, and he used to be able to stash his trombone in the front.
No, Claire, you can't say that. Oh no, that is brilliant.
Hoping that wasn't a euphemism.
I've done so well this show. I haven't said anything.
There was one element of the show. There was something you said earlier in the show, right? I actually think it's on our bloopers thing for our 100th show. Right, and you said exactly the same thing, right? And I actually completely deadpanned it, right? Because I've actually got better at this sort of thing. Believe it or believe it not, I have got better. But that, Claire, I can't possibly let go.
Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome.
It wasn't a euphemism. It was a
John, I don't blame you. John, I don't blame you.
Thank you, Sammie. Thank you, Sammie. That was exactly what it deserved, though, wasn't it? Because actually,
amazing.
I've got. I hope the picture makes the show notes, right? Because I found
what the picture of a trombone?
No. There was something that actually cropped up, and I just thought it just needs to be shared a little wider of a Volkswagen Beetle with a trombone on the roof. Here you go. It's not good.
Thank you for clarifying. Thank you.
Luckily, there's several AI software out there now that you type in trombone and VW Beetle, and it puts the two together.
Yes.
It's not good, Sammie. I tell you what. It's dangerous. You can say anything, and people can misconstrue it in the wrong way. I never.
I don't think it's misconstrued, John.
No.
It's all very carry on dibbers, isn't it?
Yes.
Claire takes a lot of pleasure in throwing these things in.
She takes them up in advance. She's like, today I'm going to drop the trombone one. That's going to be a good one.
I'll have to bring up the restraints.
It's taken 4.5 years for me to be able to.
Yeah, you've got like a list of 100, so every few, just drop one.
Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me.
Good times.
Do you know what we forgot? And I think this is really important. So it might well be that if you currently are sat at the side of a motorway and you've kind of lost the plot like I generally do, and your car, you've been listening in the car and you've unfortunately been unable to contain yourself, as occasionally I can't. We do apologise. We are not liable for any of the humour that may come your way. But I'll tell you what an absolute pleasure and what a giggle we have had for 4.5 years. And, I know we said it earlier in the show, and Robin and Simon have become a real brilliant addition to that as well, because when you come on screen, you kind of just sort of don't know from 1 second to the next what is going to happen, what is actually going to come out of each other's mouth, and what reaction is going to come as a result of it. But do you know something? It's the most amazing experience where you just have a laugh, and that is the biggest thing that, for 4.5 years, it's what keeps all of us going, and it is purely that keeps everybody going, and and if it doesn't, then there's something wrong with the world, So, good opportunity. Let's play a few clips from some of the messages that you guys have sent in as well.
Hey guys, Marcus Vowell here from Accidentally Derivative, and I want to wish the great British Mickey Waffle a huge congratulations on 100 episodes. What a milestone. I've enjoyed your show up to this point, and I can't wait to see what you guys do from here. And when you're in town, make sure you give me a call so we can meet up, maybe head over to the Rose and Crown, have a couple of pints, sing a couple of songs, and we'll see what happens from there. Congratulations again, guys, and I can't wait to see more.
Hey there, Possum Rob here from Accidentally Derivative Studios, watching stuff with Possum Rob. I want to give a huge shout out and a major congratulations to the great British Mickey Waffle on their 100th episode. Outstanding job. Your show is a delight, it's informative, it's fun, and I love you guys with your accents. I wish I had an accent. Anyways, from all of us here at AD Studios, here's to 100 more. Cheers. Take it easy, all right? Later.
Happy 100, Great British Mickey Waffle. I thought, how do I celebrate these guys, my friends? You know what? We need to go to Epcot, and we should probably go to World Showcase and do a traditional dance in every country. And then I thought, nah, it's been done. And it's been done better than I could do it, right, Pete? Anyway, we've walked through a lot of life together in the last few years. We've been through crazy health situations, pandemics, all the different things with Jason, and we should deserve a medal for having to put up with that. Just kidding, Jay. I love you guys. I'm so thankful that even though the pandemic was kind of wild, that's what brought you into my life and mine into yours, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love you. I thank you so much for sharing your British joy with us here in America. So all the way from Orlando to you guys in the United Kingdom, I love you. Happy 100.
Oh, God, you got the possum. I've heard the possum is like so expensive to get, so like congrats.
Like Possum Rob.
Yeah.
He's like high profile.
Yeah.
Oh, but,
It cost a lot of on the Amex card.
Yeah. Zach's funny.
I've got to say though, Marcus actually hit the nail on the head there, wasn't it? He's enjoyed watching it up to this point, and you can always rely on Marcus to just come in with that little moment. Where you're just like, when you question, hang on a minute, it's just like,
all downhill.
Yeah. True Marcus Vowell moment, but absolutely wonderful. It's just, and Zach Brown, I tell you what, it's just like, I was getting a bit emotional.
I just want to say huge thank you to everyone who sent us in a message, and whether it was social media or just everyone that's been a part of the show since we started 4.5 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whether you've been a guest, whether you've been someone just listening or watching or joined us on a live show. John said this several times before, but we'd still be here doing this. It's just even better that we're all here together.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, Ben, because I feel stuck record when I say it. But it's exactly it. We would still be doing this madness even if nobody listened, because actually we just love just having a chat and just, tonight in recording this, it has been such a delight having Lloyd and Sammie back. And you guys I know have got such a massively different life now, and that's so important, because I think as the pandemic proved to everybody, when everybody came out, life suddenly shrunk once again, and you have to reprioritize, and you have to choose exactly how you can actually get to the end of the week every week, and time is limited. So to come back and actually to take part, and actually to have the ability to come back to the bits that maybe we kind of just went a little over the edge with at the time, it's been brilliant, because actually it's been an absolute blast, and thank you both.
I just want to say thanks for having me back. Obviously I'm sure Lloyd is thankful as well. I can speak for myself. I missed this show terribly. It grew from something that was this one podcast a week and just became its own kind of thing and entity. And it's just unfortunate that there's no time in the schedule, because I couldn't do what you guys do right now. It's amazing. The content that you come up with and the content that you push out, it's fabulous. And I'm so proud of you guys, and I sometimes get to catch little episodes here and there and stuff, and it's great, and it's so nice to be back for an episode.
Oh, you're right there, Sammie. Saying you're proud. There's an amount of pride, isn't there, to watch the show continue to grow and continue to power on. And it's a pleasure being back tonight. It's kind of it's modern technology for you, isn't it? It's like other side of the world. And we're all in the same room, which is nice. And I keep on. You see me named, or one of my many YouTube names popping up here and there in the chat. I try and check in when I can, and it's just it's still it's got more charm than ever and funny as ever, and it's a pleasure to tune in as well, to watch the show in its many different forms, whether it be live on a Wednesday or the monthly show. So keep on rocking, and putting out your content, because it's awesome.
Thank you, Lloyd.
No, thank you both. Thank you both.
Yeah.
Both it is those two circles that come against the 100 bit, isn't it? You get that bit where you've come back into what we started, and when we started it was completely madness. And actually, as the past week, has completely proved to us, trying to record this becomes madness. And, I think it's probably a very pertinent time to say, on behalf of everybody, Ben, we couldn't do this without the time and effort, the energy that you put in to actually creating this. For anyone listening, you become very sort of complacent. And I go back to sort of Dibcast bit that we used to listen to. And we used to listen to some of the amazing things that those guys put out, and we were inspired by it. There's no denial of that. They are our true inspiration. To actually be able to do what you do, Ben, in taking the chat, what we produce, and actually being able to edit and then put in some of the most amazing graphics, some of the pictures that go alongside it. A massive thank you, because it doesn't happen by accident. The sound quality doesn't happen by accident. The removal of people's inappropriate laughing or people's inappropriate language at times to just keep us on Apple podcasts doesn't happen by accident. So sort of on behalf of everybody, can I just say a massive thank you to you and from every listener.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes a lot to make that punch sound and look good. So
yeah,
it's less editing nowadays. So.
Yeah, do you know something, Claire? That's something that I actually think that we've actually got better at, and actually, I dread to think. And those
I think us doing live shows has helped. In a way where some of us have just when we did the live show, we then thought, oh, actually, we just got to roll with what happens.
I think you're right. I don't think it's that we're editing less. I think that we're just not worrying about it as much. And
And you think me to edit it and chop it off like the Catholic terrorist.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
When you think that our original plan was to do 20 to 40-minute episodes.
Yeah. John's quick fire 4-part challenge was 30 minutes on its own.
I was going to say, you could make a show out of just John for 40 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
do regularly.
Chatting away.
I still feel really guilty for that, Sammy. I really do, because
we will never let you live it down.
That's what we're here for.
No,
that's what you're here for.
I know. I know. Yeah, and it is that shared passion for a company that takes more money from us than we dare to even consider, but gives us pleasure that if you don't get it, you don't quite understand the whole Disney bit and things like that. And that's why we do this. It is such a delight to be able to share it with you guys that are on screen, you guys that have been watching and listening to all of our shows. We do this because actually we just love doing it. And that's all it is. It's just a shared passion, and people forget that. Anyway, I'm a bit reluctant to kind of round the show off, because in some ways, when you get to show 100, it's one of those shows that everyone's going to say, well, there's show 1, there's show 100, where's the progress? And actually, I think there's been progress, guys, and an awful lot of water under the bridge. For those who can't be here to record the show, I'm going to just chuck in again, Robin and Simon, have a fantastic trip.
Yeah.
For everybody who has watched and listened to anything, it doesn't matter, even if it's 5 minutes and you thought we were rubbish, that's fine. But thank you for joining in and being part of the Great British Mickey Waffle. We hope you've enjoyed this 100th episode, and it brought a little bit of Disney magic into your day. If you've missed any of those previous 99 shows, don't worry. You can catch all of them by downloading them from your podcast app of choice, or by watching them on our YouTube channel. we have also got a live Wafflers Wednesday show on YouTube every week, 8:30. Yeah, every week, UK time. But join us for that, because it adds into the podcast experience as well, because we tend to go between the podcast and the live show. If you want to stay up to date with all things Waffle, come and join us in our very own friendly Facebook group, the Wafflers Arms, where you will always get a warm welcome, and the drinks you have to bring yourself. But hey, that's another issue. But also social media at GB Mickey Waffle on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, occasionally on X, formerly known as Twitter. Just purely because of the fact it depends on what mood we're in as to whether or not we actually post on there. Because it depends on what kind of mood Elon Musk is in at the time as well. But yeah, you can also email us at waffleon@gbmickeywaffle.com with any comments, questions, ideas for future episodes. Because there's going to be more of this. There really is. I love you guys. We've just got to 100 shows, and for anything else, here's to the next 100. And the one thing that's guaranteed, we're going to get to 200 before Disney will.
We are.
So there we go. Anyway, there's one thing left to say.
Waffle on.
And we'll see you real soon.